Sobat Onic Indonesia, mari kita beri semangat sekali lagi untuk tim Onic.
And now that Onic is up on stage, let us now call the MSC 2022 champions, RSGPH. Come on up on stage. Once again, give it up for RSG Philippines!
And Rose, in this best of 3 series, best of 3 yang pastinya dinantikan oleh semuanya karena semua seperti penasaran akan seperti apa pertarungan dari kedua tim yang sama-sama punya kekuatan dan juga gameplay yang sangat menarik.
Yes, I agree, because the winning team will proceed to the upper bracket, whereas the losing team will drop to the lower bracket. Though they still will be able to play tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure nobody wants to play that much games in the lower bracket.
Betul, itu akan lebih susah, lebih panjang, dan semua ingin mempertahankan posisi upper bracket.
Yes, so I think they're ready. I see them sitting down, getting comfy. Clara is ready, I'm ready. The panels seem to be ready. So let us kickstart our third match by throwing it over to our panel to break down this matchup. Panels, take it away.
Here it is, things are about to go down as former MSC champions are going to be colliding up on stage in RSGPH as well as Onic as well. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series. As on the caster desk, it's me, Eterna, alongside with Reptar and Mirko. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready. I just had to teach him something. So he's
What was that? Could you elaborate?
It's a dance step.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, with Bigatron falling down to the lower bracket, I think you got to get that practice in, Mirko, because their next opponent is not going to be easy. But, ladies and gentlemen, our focus is on this match. Onic, the Indonesian powerhouse. MSC 23 champions.
Yeah.
I don't know my years, but that's okay because they're going over against, once again, the RSGPH, the former MSC champions. How are these two going to fare against one another after what we've seen from the challenge season group stage?
Oh, you know what? Honestly, I just expect a fight, man. Like minute 2, minute 3, they're just gonna death ball on each other, snowball on each other. These are what these two teams are known for. Honestly, for me, this feels like a fan fiction dream come true. Finally get to see RSGPH versus Onic.
I think after MSC 2023, a lot of questions arose, right?
Yeah.
From Onic winning and beating both Echo and Blacklist International. How would Bren do against Onic? How would RSGPH do against Onic? 3rd and 4th in MPLPH Season 11. A lot of questions were asked, and finally now, like you said, it feels like fanfic. It feels like it was just brought up from a comment section comment, and ASL, SPS, they were like, you know what? Let's take that. Let's do that.
It'll somehow happen, and here it is. It's about to happen.
I mean, you mentioned it, right? Bren, RSGPH.
Yeah.
Bren was not an enemy that they could overcome. So the question is, can Onic do it here against RSGPH? Because it looks like they're at their prime. It looks difficult. I'm worried as an Indonesian.
You're worried? You are at home in Istora Senayan, surrounded by fellow Indonesians. I am a lone Filipino in the English panel desk because Leo's gonna be casting.
Well, I mean, I heard the support coming in from RSGPH as well, so don't count those supporters out.
That was literally just me.
Was it?
Yes, I'm sorry. We're surrounded by Indonesian fans right now. It was just me shouting.
I think, for RSGPH, you're right. I think it was only you. But hey, Echo, did you hear the crowd? I mean, there were a lot of Echo fans in the building. Indonesian Echo fans. I think fans of Aura as well, supporting the sister organization. But speaking of this matchup, I think it's going to be very interesting because both teams, like you said, rely on that death ball. I think for RSGPH, it's a bit more calm and collected with Demon Kite here. The way they, form that death ball is through a very clean foundation in Demon Kite, getting a utility jungler and getting these neutral objectives. Meanwhile, on the other side, Onic, they're very chaotic. They want a team fight. They want to bring you down and deep, down and dirty.
So let's see how the brackets are going through right now, right? Coming into the playoffs. As you can see, because of that previous loss coming in from Bigatron and the Yudu Red Giants, they are going to fall into the lower bracket. Whoever wins this between RSG and Onic, they should be going against either, no, Yudu Red Giants, and whoever wins the next one between Bren and Echo should face off against Bigatron. So I was wrong. I thought it was a red-to-red bloodbath. It turns out they're popping off on different brackets, Mirko.
Absolutely. But first, we're going to be welcoming Onic up until with this roster still. I think with Albert, we saw how he performed in the Challenge Finals group stage, but I think we all knew deep inside that this is the main lineup. CW in the lineup is still the best. The weak side gold laner that can just not be solo killed, can't be taken out even with ganks. He's so reliable to the team, and I think he brings the same kind of impact that Sans does. Maybe not so much vocally though, because CW has taken a very silent approach this time for Onic. It's no longer him as a shot caller, but it's the whole team shot calling together.
Yeah, silent but deadly. Those are the worst ones. If he's silent but deadly, someone who's louder and deadlier, Sans, man. His performance all throughout the Snapdragon Pro Series Challenge season, from the group stage up until earlier going up against Yudu Red Giants, he is an absolute beast. That's why I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier in the panel as well for Onic. You really cannot give this Valentina to Sans. If I'm RSGPH, I would rather take it away or just straight up ban it if I'm not picking it up.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I like the fact that before this segment even begun, that you mentioned about the junglers, Kyrie, still sitting at 0% on these utility junglers, but give him something of an assassin, giving something like the Joy, and then he pops off. So we see a clear difference in playstyle from both of these players. But our highlight now is going to be Keyboy the Roamer. And look at this, every time he's given a support hero, it doesn't seem like it's his style.
Yeah, it's funny that you say Kyrie, utility 0%. Same thing here for Keyboy. The 2Ks on Onic, they just really like going on those flashy heroes. And I think with Adi and Yeb, they were able to completely facilitate that after understanding, after experimenting. You need to have these experimental games to understand your players' limits. And now that we saw that play as well from Keyboy on the show, oh my god, just thinking about it again. Oh, I am imagining it. It is. Oh, I'm lost in the play.
Just imagine it. It's Keyboy, but he's also going up against Light. It's setup versus setup. They're just going to be flying all around everywhere, trying to set up on one another, coming off from weird angles. And as I speak about it, here they are. RSGPH, Navs, Demon Kite, Aqua, Eman, and Light, the MSC 2022 winning lineup. Not as powerful as they were, but now this is probably the strongest I've seen RSGPH in recent memory, getting their groove back. Demon Kite, he sort of put himself into a more utility role. He's still shining as a utility role. Honestly, if you ask me, the stars of the team right now are really Eman and Aqua.
Agreed.
Eman has the most MVPs in RSGPH, while Aqua is at a close second.
I think looking at the way that they've been playing as well in the Challenge Final group stages, it's safe to say that RSGPH here, they're very chaotic. Everyone except for the two you mentioned, Aqua and Eman.
Yeah.
Eman gets chaotic in the team fights, but overall, the way he plays, the way he positions, and even the way he itemizes is just very brilliant, very genius.
Yep.
I think for the longest time ever, Eman has been an itemization specialist. He always has a random item that he can pull out in any given circumstance that will make sense in that game. We saw the Endless Battle on Brody before. That was back into the meta. We've seen even the Rose Gold very early, and even a Winter Truncheon very early from this man. But Aqua, my eyes are just glued onto Aqua every single time RSGPH plays, because no matter how chaotic it gets, there's always Aqua there, just standing menacingly and being the foundation of this RSGPH lineup and why they actually get these dubs.
Yeah, he's really one of the main pillars of RSG. Their stability and their dependability comes a lot from him. Of course, we see Light always trying to come from weird angles, trying to find that setup. Naf is a man on his own planet, but you need Aqua. Weirdly enough, the guy who's named after water is the most solid out of everyone.
He is. And let's see his statistics, right? Because so far, he has been popping off on that Farsa. So you can see that it's a little bit of a similar play style towards Sans. What do you think is like the main difference between how they play?
I feel like Aqua...
If there is any.
If there is any? Now that you're asking me, it's so difficult. Because they both time things really well. If they're both using an Afarsa or an Eve, they time the use of their ultimates well. You don't see them using it at the start of the team fight right away most of the time. They will hold on to it as much as possible. So in terms of differences, I don't think there's a lot.
I think the main difference is the fact that RGPH haven't been experimenting too much in the group stages, right? For Onic, you did see a Florin, you did see a few utility junglers on Kyrie, but for RGPH mainly, give them what they're comfortable with. That's been the name of the game for RGPH in the group stages. Mainly maybe because they didn't have a coach, they just wanted to go with the all reliable for the first 2 days, or the first day actually. Day 2, day 3, you saw that stability come back. They lost against Udo Red Giants once, and then that's it. That's the only loss that they took. And since then, they've been looking phenomenal with the coordination that is back, with the synergy that is back due to maybe Coach Theo, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of phenomenal looking, look at Light looking phenomenally at the crowd.
God.
He hasn't blinked
again.
again. Can't make him blink. I think he really should though. You okay, Light? I hope he's okay.
I think that's one of his powers. You know?
Just blink.
He just
No,
doesn't
close.
blink.
Light?
I think we talked to, oh, that's a,
Yeah.
has it been 2 minutes yet?
No, not
No,
2
yet.
minutes?
Getting
Not
close to a
yet?
minute.
Not
It's
yet.
getting close though.
It's
Maybe that's how he's so good. He
That's-
doesn't need to waste that
Yeah.
blinking time.
he sees everything.
Exactly. And that's exactly what you need as a roamer. You need that vision. You need to make those calls. And it's so great that we
Keyboy
get to
blinked
see
already.
both of these teams, these players, head to head here. And now that you mention it, they kind of do have a similar playstyle.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the Franco, the Cho, but for Light, it's the Franco, Kufra, and the Kaja.
He literally hasn't blinked.
Yeah, again, I think Keyboy's lost the stare down, right? I mean,
Yeah.
dude, Light.
How?
We're getting close to 2 minutes at this point.
Okay, this is surreal.
No way.
How
He
is
hasn't-
this possible?
Okay, we cut to this, so we don't know what's going on, but
Wow.
that was a long time. But let's take a look at the team head-to-head here between Onic as well as RHGPH. We can already see a little similarity in the way that they pick and ban, right? With the Yves still one of the prominent choices that both of these teams like to utilize in that mid lane. So definitely going to be contested or banned.
Yeah, when I look at this matchup and imagine like all the possible scenarios going on, I feel like there's a matchup where we're not going to get an in-between. We're either going to see these two teams at their best or at their messiest. These two teams are susceptible to taking 50-50 fights. They're susceptible to when their formation or when their lead is lost, they start to crumble, but then they both can snowball, they both can take control of the game early on. There's just something about these two, and when you think about it, they're really way more similar than they'd want to admit.
I agree, and they're also MSC champions, right?
They're
To
both
add
MSC
on to the list of similarities, they have a very aggressive roamer, they have a very sporadic XP laner, and a very solid gold lane and mid.
I think the difference is literally only the junglers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like playstyle.
See, that's why. If Irad was here, it would literally be the
same.
Yeah,
same
it's,
team.
it's like that Spider-Man meme. They'd just be going like that at each other, just like this, just like that. They'll just be both like that.
But because Irad's not here, that's why we are seeing those Ling bans come through.
Yeah.
We are seeing Demon Kite transition somewhat towards more utility. We know back in the day, MSC 2022, when they did win, he was a very aggressive jungler because he could play both utility and assassins really well. But now, maybe because of the off time, the off season, where he wasn't able to play for, I think, a whole season in Season 11,
Yep.
you can really see that they had to move things around.
They really did. They need to move things around with one of the best in the business,
Whoa.
the worldwide service career. Special shout out to DHL. Did you see the stage?
It lit
Look
up.
at this stage.
And it was all yellow.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Wow,
Did
pretty good.
they send it over to you?
So what?
The lyrics.
No.
With
they-
DHL.
No one sends me anything.
Don't worry, I got you, fam.
Really?
You want a new tie?
Yeah.
I'll get you a new tie with
Oh.
DHL.
Thanks,
DHL.
man. And I'm
Shout
sure I'm
out.
going to get that real quickly.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin this next upcoming match. And one of the things that I really want to talk about was the flexibility of these teams, right? With both of these roamers not being too great at the support. Does Light play support heroes? Does he play Florin and
Very
Estes?
rarely.
Angela, I think, is
Angela?
his most go-to here. If he's going to end up in a support, it's going to be Angela.
I think the same thing goes for Keyboy. I think if you see him on a support, you're no longer going to be seeing him on the Florin, or not the SS. We've never seen him play the SS. Maybe the Angela, like you said. But oh, town predictions.
Yeah, look at this. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Okay, so we all believe it's going to be a full best-of-3 series.
Yes.
But the twos are a little different on the desk. Surprise, surprise.
Not really that surprising. I mean, like, I
Yeah,
get
that's
it.
why I said it like that.
Oh.
The sarcasm.
All right, sorry. I sometimes have a problem with sensing tone.
It's okay. But here it is. The drafting phase here for game number 1 between both of these MSC champions. They're a little bit shy, so they're going to hide it for just a little bit more.
Aw, a little shy.
A little shy. It's
Shows
okay.
It's wrapped. It's okay, RSG. It's okay, Onic.
It's okay.
It's okay, guys. Don't be shy. And hopefully people can hear the Sonics right now.
Yep.
Going wild. It's those drum sets, man.
Absolutely. I mean, again, this is the Indonesian support that you are hearing live from Istora Senayan, Jakarta. Hey, if you guys are in Jakarta, come and visit us. Come and join. Experience the MLBB.
Please do.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Because when else will you be able to catch these casters and ask for a photo with them?
People
Especially
ask for
Renmar.
photos from you guys?
Especially Reptar.
Are you kidding me? Out of all the three of us, you two are beyond way more popular than I am. It's like
That's not true.
my numbers doubled, barely scratches your numbers on its own.
It's
That's
all,
not true.
It's objective.
Yeah, it's
Remnar.
objective. What are you talking about?
And we're talking about numbers. It's objective AF.
But like even in the game, it's not all about numbers.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, stats don't mean anything.
Exactly.
Reptar. You get me, Renmar?
I'm dying right now.
Reptar.
This is my worst nightmare. And also my best dream.
All right.
Oh.
I
But
can't explain it.
Can we touch on that? You being the only prediction for RSGPH.
Yeah.
Let's hear it out.
How do you think they get it done?
Yeah.
Well, if they're gonna get it done, first it has to be in the draft. If Kyrie's gonna end up in an assassin role, we're gonna need to see a little bit more movement from Nats. I think Nats lately has been somewhat low-key, but I think this is gonna be the series where he pops off. Because the style of him and Boots sort of are a little bit more different. Boots likes to isolate the opposing XP laner by constantly pressuring split and split and split. Meanwhile, Nats isolates because he just wants to fight, man.
Yeah.
If he's not doing 1v1, he's doing like 2v1 or 3v1 because he's the only one diving in the backline.
So we can expect that this EXP lane matchup is going to be super important,
Oh, yes.
especially the picks, right? Because even for Onic, if we don't see Boots given a hero that he can be aggressive with, like you mentioned, it doesn't seem like Onic find their footing in that mid game.
Yeah, it comes down to how both of these coaches facilitate their XP laners. I think, like you mentioned, Boots, one of the foundation for Onic as well. The fact that he rotates around very aggressively, sometimes just sacrificing his entire lane. A full wave, a full turret goal just to get his teammates ahead. He's really the enabler for Onic. And that comes down to how Yev is able to take it out of him. What heroes do you give him? Give him the Uranus, give him the Paquito, give him all these active, very mobile XP laners. Meanwhile, for Nats, in this game particularly, you want to try to nail Boots to the lane. You do not want to let him roam across because it's his game. Nats, give him a good matchup that can really just force these fights, force these trades to happen, and you're going to see a good match.
I'm gonna add a little bit there,
Okay.
right? Especially with CW in the gold lane.
Yes.
It's even more important for Boots to win that lane.
Yeah.
So if Nats can overcome
Boots?
Boots,
Yeah?
it's okay. We won't talk about it.
Renmar might
No,
have...
we're not talking about it.
No, we're talking about XP laners
We're talking
right
about
now.
EXP laners.
We're talking about XP laners. I wasn't distracted just now.
No.
Anyways.
We're professional here.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna add another point to ours. Why are you looking at me like that, Mirko?
I mean, Renmar, it was just like the comedic timing, right? Renmar was glued to the screen for some reason, and then the reveal happens. Sans' girlfriend.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yo, it's us as girlfriends. Good to see them here. Like, the support
Yeah,
is
you're
great.
right. Like Reptar wants that support.
Very supportive. Don't expose to people just how lonely I am. Anyways, so adding again to the whole XP learner conversation, these two teams, these two coaching staffs, they understand in recent memory just how important XP laners are to the success of your team. They either empower by sacrificing themselves, or they're a surprising third option or even second option carry depending on the flow of the game and their hero picks in that scenario. So, as you mentioned, Onic got to unlock Boots, but for the longest time, Coach Panda really just allowed Nats to do his own thing, to really flourish. When he first started off, he struggled, but then suddenly he hit his peak in Season 9. He matured, and Season 11 was the most matured Nats we've seen, and that's a side of Nats that needs to come up here with with a little bit of the old school, I'ma just fight you now.
I call him Chads because he's a Chad now. I mean, you see the buzz cut?
Yeah.
He looks, back at MSC 2022 when he won, he looks like a proper nerd. Now, he looks like a proper Chad.
Yeah.
And even the way he plays has been elevated, has leveled up, has been refined, and finally now we are going to be getting into those drafts. But to talk a little bit more about the game right now, the meta game. A lot of people consider the XP laner and the roamer to be the two most important roles in a team right now.
Oh, very interesting. So a shift in dynamic there where I think previously was gold laner, no? As priority?
Yeah, gold lane, jungle.
All right, we'll see how this goes. Welcome to the drafting phase for game number 1 between both of these teams. It looks like RSG Philippines on the blue side, Onic on the red. So don't get confused between who's left and right. Just see who gets first pick, ladies and gentlemen. But here it is, 2 bans respected towards Kyrie in the Ling and the Fanny. Meanwhile here, Onic, they're gonna be able to take the Martis away along with the Heave and the Uranus. But look at these picks come through really quick. RSG pick up the Valentina, Kaja, and Claude for Onic.
Yeah, and honestly, right now, this draft is just all respect. They take away the Valentina from Sans. They make sure they don't give something like the Kadita that can be flex into mid or roam. They don't want to give assassins to Kari. Meanwhile, Onic said, yep, we know about Nas. We're definitely not giving Uranus to him. We also don't want to give Eve to Aqua. And I feel like one of the sleeper picks for RSG, if you're not careful with it, is that Martis for Demon Kite. So they know each other so well. They also picked up the Kaja just so Light wouldn't be able to do his pick-off plays with one of the strongest suppress abilities here. I wouldn't be so remiss if they go ahead and pick up Franco as one of their first 3 picks right now.
Maybe if not the Franco, the Kufra can come through with the Arlet here. Just a lot of displacements to try to go up against the Claude and the Kaja. But it is the Arlet with the Franco. Why the Arlet? The displacement, the final slash. If CW isn't careful, the Blazing Duet can be instantly cancelled out. So does the Bloody Hunt. It does the same thing here, and it's also great lockdown. So it's a battle of who taps that ultimate first, Divine Judgment or Bloody Hunt.
Yeah, and that's another thing when you're playing up with a Kaja or a Franco on your side, you're gonna need either the XP laner or even the jungler at times to sort of have like a set-up potential. That's why they also put in the Arlot along with the points that you brought up. And look at Onic. Now they're gonna be playing everything we discussed about these two teams, how they want to play the game, how they want to empower their XP laners. That Masha pickup is just another great example of it.
Definitely, definitely. I think the Masha pickup has an advantage over the Arlet, not in CC that it kind of lacks compared to the Arlet, but the mobility, right? The fact that the Masha can be utilized in several different ways. One is what we saw from Boots before when he just goes really aggressive onto the lane, clears it, and looks for pressure on either the mid lane, even the enemy jungle, or even just all the way down to the gold lane. So we need a solution towards how fast this Masha can rotate, and that all comes back down to the second phase of the drafts. Onic will take out the 1-1. What about RSG PH? What do they want to take away?
I mean, looking at it now, should be the jungler, right? I mean, force him out. Lancelot ban coming through, Hayabusa, even Joy makes sense here. Just try to force or hack a Kyrie. That's something that we have been seeing a lot now. It seems like Onic, in a lot of people's eyes, have gone back to that Kyrie Esports kind of nickname that was made at M4 because of the performance from kind of the rest of the team. I think against EVOS Legends, it was mostly present there. Fanny was literally the only thing that was going for them.
Yeah, I actually really like this ban by Onic with the Baksha. Because right now, usually, the trend that we're seeing for lineups like drafted like this by RSG is that they pick up the Baksha in the jungle. Because he mentioned there earlier, Eterna, in terms of matching the rotational speed, Baksha does that great. We saw that earlier in the series of Yudu and Onic, where Yudu almost took down Onic in game number 2. So now, Joy might actually be the jungle option here for RSG. If not Joy, they might even consider out a Karina at this point.
Oh, interesting choice.
Karina.
The Karina. Demon Kite's one of his prior heroes back in the day. I remember, man. And when he won MSC 2022, there was a lot of Karina games coming through. Onic, though, they'll pick up the Fredrin here. And that just seals the deal. The Masha's already picked up. No, there's no way. I think there's no way it's flexed here.
No.
It's Fredrin in the jungle confirmed. So they're going to be relying on Kyrie, on CW actually, heavily to be carrying this game from the damage department and also Sans. So getting Sans a comfort pick is going to be massive. And right now, RSGPH, they kind of have Onyx number. They know the only other pick that Sans has been playing has been the Farsa.
Yeah.
They left it open for a reason. They have a counter. They know how to fight against it.
It's not a good pick.
Yeah.
You can't pick up the Farsa in this situation. There's just too many dives. There's too many solutions that RSGPH can utilize to punish the Farsa.
Gonna go Kagura or still stick with the Farsa? There's the Karina, as I mentioned earlier.
The 2022 MSC special from the champion, Novario. Okay.
All right.
Makes sense. There you go. If you want a little bit more mobility, technically the Novario gets you that, right?
Yeah.
Faster cooldown compared to the Wings by Wings with the Astral Recall, better range, and better vision for a team like RSGPH who wants to be ambushing you using the vision pockets, the blind spots. This pick is pretty massive.
Yep.
Okay, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen. All the picks have been set in stone. Let's go call on the casters. What do you guys think about this draft?
Calling you will answer. It's a showcase of two different metas, one very recent and the other quite the throwback.
Quite the throwback. In a matter of fact, it's a yar shiver me timbers moment for the both of them.
Yo ho ho, matey, it is indeed.
And if you're wondering about the pirate accents, these are two kings of sea, champions of MSC. In a matter of fact, go check it out if you haven't noticed it yet. But our predictions, we are on two opposite ends. I'm leaning towards Onic, and you're leaning towards RSG.
I like it. It's the classic RSGPH death ball, and the fact that they're playing with a lineup that both won MSC 2022 and is quite a revival given that DK took a break and is still kicking butt in this shape and form, makes me believe that maybe they can take down MSC 2023 champs in Onic.
I don't know, because Onic has been looking extremely clean, and when I look over at RSGPH's overall matchups, it's either they snowball super hard and win the game, but if it drags out, or maybe if they have a little too much fun, that's when you see them really struggle.
All right, let's get into the game. It's game one between these two kings of sea. And as you are looking at it right now, it's orange start for DK, while Kyrie goes for his purple first with a little bit of a leash coming in from your boy Keyboy. Let's see what the XP lane is like, as well as a quick check on our emblems.
Ooh, Master Assassin coming out from Butsu's side. He knows that he's not going to lose this, so he doesn't mind the trades. With the Little Wanderer falling into the hands of Kyrie for now, he's going to start off with a slight EXP lead. But where's Onic looking? No, not even Onic. Where's RSG looking to punch a hole?
Yep, RSG here is going to play with the re-engage. They're going to try and time out Onic's deep dive, given that Onic can say how, when, and where these fights happen, given the extra resources they have, especially when they reach level 4. Hell, when Boots reaches level 2, there you go, he's ready, he's going to go in. But now, 3v3 up top.
The Iron Hook has already been used. Light has to flicker on out of there. Stands from far. Plays his Wrath. Is going to find first blood on towards Demon Kite's side with Keyboy picking up Light at the same time. That's going to be two big battle spells already being utilized.
Yep, again, we're looking for the re-engage. Onic is on right now. RSGPH, not quite yet. And Keyboy knows that. Aqua's respecting the fact that, hey man, even without the Divine Judgment, this is a very, very sustainable Kaja 2 minutes.
I'm getting a huge, massive war flashbacks of YRG. Early double kill for the side of Onic. It's happening all over again, is it not?
That happened earlier today when Onic knocked down Eudora Giants into the lower bracket. Sans thrown out the Astral Echo, spots Nats, Light, and DK. Oh no, do they know that this is a 4v3?
It's not looking good. They use the Astral Spear just to make sure they get some damage, but the Keyboy so nearby. Nats with the final slash, pushing him out of the way. Kyrie secures the turtle in the meantime, prays his Wrath as well, but Demon Kite this time surviving the onslaught.
And with that, Onic continue to pick up the pace. Even if they didn't get any additional kills, the fact that Turtle went to their side and that they're calling the shots everywhere. If you're going to watch the map right now, save for mid, all the other lanes are in control for Onic. And look at how much Onic is ahead. CW can just go ahead and take a small camp.
Oh my goodness. CW pushing advantages wherever he can. He's going to spot out live, but it doesn't matter because with this BMI, he stays concealed in the bushes in the meantime. Very, very smart micro mechanics coming in from Onic. And, you know, for gold laners, keep that in mind. It's a good utilization of the hero.
Especially when you're the more mobile between you and your lane mate. Speaking of mobile, CW here rocking the sprint on his Claude. Not going to happen as often, but wait, hold up. Eman already has a corrosion scythe?
He's walking up. Kyrie gets spotted out. The Bloody Hunt is already coming on towards him. Praise's Wrath is going to chuck him out so very low. Kyrie might just lose his life, but CW already finds light. They're starting to back away, and Demon Kite, luckily, he doesn't take auto attack damage, but everybody else, dodges the right one. CW getting the double kill. He's looking for that triple as Aqua is locked up. Triple for CW. Wait, is this it? Could this be his maniac? It's a maniac for CW. 3 minutes, 46 seconds into the game.
RSGPH just fell completely into Onyx plans. As Onyx Bat's drums beat, so did Onyx forward march, and RSGPH just danced to that tune. And it's not a tune they're used to. I'm looking at Aqua this whole time and saying, why is he walking that way? Why is he moving there? What's the game plan? It seemed like they were so scrambled. Watch it right now. Look at how much and how, you know what? Rather the word, how little RSGPH put on the map as early as now. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, right? Aqua just jumps into the middle of it. He had the Divine Judgment. He knows that he doesn't have enough damage, but more importantly, cooldowns were already spent, so why go deeper in? But let's hold up here. Next neutral objective is already available in Boots 1v3. He doesn't mind. Down to his last health bar. He's finally locked out by the Bloody Hunt. He goes down as Keyboy's trying to save him. And now Kyrie in the middle of that fight flickers out of there. Keyboy survives and Kyrie finds the kill on Nats.
Man advantage was over on RSG's side, but I can't help but feel a sense of hesitation in the former MSC champions ranks. And they have to hold it down. This can't come from mid. Light and Aqua are a dream come true duo. The fact that mid is shaking and trembling is a weakness and an opportunity that Onic will not hesitate to take.
Iman forced the recall because of the 4 kills achieved by CW. He's just so far ahead of the economy game, down by gold lane. It's a tough matchup. He'll never win any of these 1v1s for the next 7 minutes.
4-0-0. If that mid lane duo is a dream, at least for the majority of the past year, this start for CW is an amazing one. It's a dream come true for most gold laners. And look at how much Onic is just asserting their dominance. CW can get whatever he wants. And this whole time, Keyboy is just roaming around. Like, I don't think there's any fight that Onic took in the past 5 minutes that they're not sure of. That's what I'm seeing right now. Onic is just so confident, full of conviction, every single movement. RSGPH, I can't say the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for them to get that sort of, that level of information, in a matter of fact. Like, Keyboy gets the move wherever he wants, but whatever he doesn't check, Sans covers for him. Like, look at that. They're making sure every single area of the map is checked.
Here's a telltale sign. Here is a telegraphed message coming in that Onic are so sure instead of the usual. Oh wait, they got a pull on DK!
Well, DK, he's trying to get on out of there as Demon Kite is going to use his ult to get on the opposite side of Kyrie. Dodges the spear as well. Nicely played by Demon Kite, but can they actually get out? No, the Appraiser's Wrath is going to kill Demon Kite. Nobody can actually peel for him.
Yep, as I was saying, first item on Keyboy is an immortality. So he's just gonna keep throwing himself at RSGPH. If a Divine Judgment hits, so be it. If it doesn't, then he's bought time for the rest of Onic. So, looking at the map right now, I don't think RSGPH would want to ever cross the river. It's that bad here. 7 minutes in, 7 kills down, 5K. Gold ahead. They got a pull!
Yep, the Bloody Hunt is already being utilized. Even the final slash, he catches Kyrie at the same time, who's able to press him. But now Aqua finds the Divine Retribution. It looks good, but CW is able to fall up instantaneously. The Divine Judgment, rendered useless.
And even with that shutdown on Kyrie, Onic still walk away with something they're happy with. That's a trade I'll take any day. Look at the gold on CW, 6,500 compared to Eman, who's sitting at just under 5,000. That's almost 2,000 ahead. And wait, Does he want to take this fight?
No, I mean, Boots, he could if he wanted to, but really, just look at the privilege that CW has here, right? In the face of Demon Kai on a Karina. He's just, I'm going to take this away from you unless you use Retribution.
All right, interesting build on Demon Kite's Karina as well. He's rocking the tank emblem alongside Lethal Ignition, Season Hunter, and Swift. So it's a DPS tank Karina.
Interesting. We haven't seen one of those in a while. The last Karina we saw was full magic damage. He was looking 100-0. This time around, Demon Kite, he wants to be able to absorb and bait things out.
And I don't know how that's going to help from a losing perspective. A lot of junglers these days, especially the ones that are super meta, know exactly what to do. But here, DK, 3v1?
Yep, Boots is able to disarm Iman, which calls Light off from actually using the Bloody Hunt. So at least we're in my... Oh, the damage from Sans, continuing the oppression. No matter what move RSGPH, Onic continued to disrespect them, even in no man's land.
Oh no. It has come to the point where even orange buffs are scarce. They have to send 5 men to make sure that the map is clear, that they're here in the Lord Pit, and that DK can actually secure the small resources that should have been his all this while. Again, 6,000 gold ahead. Are they considering a contest?
Maybe. I mean, they're starting to walk up here, all of them as well, and Kyrie, he's able to secure it instantly. Once the ult is down, wait, hold on, they're actually chasing Demon Kai down. The Praise's Wrath comes on through. Boots gets hit by the Iron Hook, but he's got so much HP. He's just gonna punch him and down, and RSG, at least they didn't lose any one of their members.
I guess that's a silver lining. That's a little bit of hopium for all of the Raiders watching, but Onic Sobat here in Istora Sinayan, here in Jakarta, all around the world know that Onic is going to make the most of this Lord marching through top. Not a single turret conceded, not a single major objective taken by RSG PH. Now, even if I did say I kind of liked RSG's draft, I don't know how it performs from a losing standpoint. On the defensive inside their base, like what do they do?
I mean, they're hoping for a snowball, and I think they're really hoping that CW makes a significant mistake to help turn this around, because I don't see any other way, right? Unless they pick off Sans, and even then, he's not like the main guy.
Ain't that miserable, though? The fact that you're hoping for your opponents to slip up, hoping that they let something through, means that RSGPH are going to have to stay inside their base. And even then, Gideon, on our wave clearing scale, right? Out of 5, I give RSGPH's lineup a 2. Look at it.
I would honestly even rate it to be a 1, because there's not a lot of AoE here, and these cooldowns are important.
I'm being very generous then.
It's quite generous, as a matter of fact, but this is going to be the first inhibitor that's falling as Divine Judgment once again landing on Kibo. He's willing to die. He's got immortality, but he still survives, not even losing the resource as well. Nats, very good idea to get on top of CW, but CW's like, no. BMI out of there. I ain't slipping up this time.
And that's what's difficult. When you're hoping that your opponent makes a mistake, and your opponents are Onic, Onic Prime, that's very slim pickings. Keyboy, though, very low.
Loses his immortality, but Aqua's already been chunked out. Blazing Duet already comes in as the big ultimates are down. That's with a shot. Iman nearly getting taken out. Another inhibitor still holds on. Demon Kite is low, but doesn't give the kill. Oh, all right. Let's calm down here as Gilak Sands.
All right, close call. And they're going to continue to pressure him. Look at how Sans is just drawing a line between RSGPH and the rest of his teammates. Astro Echo out, 4 big targets. Just the same, even with this 1 rated wave clear, they're still doing their best.
Sans is playing aim labs right now. That's what he's doing. He's playing a completely separate app. He's practicing his skill shots because he knows he can't be punished that easily with the lead. 10K is a death sentence for most pro teams.
This is difficult. Even in a ranked game, you don't often see 10K. And that's just how oppressed RSGPH is. That's how aggressive Onic is at choking them out. Here, look at this orange. It's not a safe. See, look at Kyrie just stepping up the Demon Kite. Make my day. Hello.
Walk up to me, forcing out every single time. Forcing it out. And I mean, Kyrie, he doesn't mind. The next neutral is coming up, and he's like, okay, all right, that's totally fine. You want to contest this? Nah, not even close.
Not even. They're not even going to approach Onic here. And at least that's one thing that RSGPH can hold out for. They can hold on to their magic sentries, hold on to their inhibitors, and then hope to goodness that they can make it past the 15-16 minute mark. They can make it past this Luminous Lord. Because this Lord is going to march on through top, hopefully maybe crash into the base once, and then they'll deal with the rest of the waves. They're about to lose an inhibitor, maybe all of them right now.
Fine Judgment being stolen away by Aqua, copying it, making sure that he is ready to punish, but CW, he's not been caught lacking this entire game. Keyboy is going to find that pull on towards Aqua's side, but he instead able to find CW instead! What a turnaround! Okay, 45, there is potential hope here. And now Onic, they're going to take their time with the major damage coming in from Sands mainly, but still, I don't think they want to position themselves like finding an iron hook of a lifetime onto Keyboy! Oh my goodness! Oh! The entire situation we were talking about, CW slipping up, they found it.
Was RSGPH playing possum this whole time?
It was, I mean, that was one of the best possums I have ever seen. Let yourself get Divine Judgment, and then when CW walks on a little too close, catch him and pull him back in.
And inside their base too. And I'm eating my words. I address the whole Raider Nation when I say, I made a mistake, I made the wrong call. They lost just mid-lane inhibitor, they kept bottom. That's definitely a huge win for RSG. Not to say that they're out of the woods quite yet. If anything, there's still a half a dozen things they need to check off on this long grocery list of ways to come back. But Gideon, they've somehow closed the gap. I'd say even if we're looking at a 9K, 10K gold lead still, this is the most time they've spent outside their base in the past 5 minutes.
Here we go, conceal play. This might be a full team fight. Catches no one, but no! Keyboy, he finds it! He gets the suppression, and CW with a blazing joy gets canceled by the final flash. Double kill coming from CW. He's still too far ahead with the Winds of Nature as well.
That's it.
Whenever Onic loses, they come back stronger.
Outgunned is still outgunned. It's just a matter of time. The inevitable shall come. Demon Kite just buying time, but ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Onic takes game 1.
Oh my goodness, after RSGPH coming up with a literal 300 IQ play from Aqua, Onic is like, no, never again.
Moments like that open up the opportunity for a comeback.
Playing as if Light had the Kaja, forgetting that they were going up against the Kaja. Just those a little bit too greedy in the positionings from my taste in the early game.
All right, let's see how they're going to address these changes coming into the second game. And once again here, RSGPH on the blue side. So Onic still on the side that they favor, right? With these bans coming through, nothing much has changed. And even in the picks, Valentina, Kaja, Claude, completely the same. So now RSGPH, they're in a corner now. They're being asked the question, how are you going to change the drafts? Because last time they went in with Franco and Arlet to be able to counter this Claude. Are they going to go the same route or are they going to go a different one?
No. In terms of their picks earlier, it was Arlott and a Franco. Honestly, I don't see so much problems with picking those up again. Again, they were just the victims of a great game by Sands and at the same time some questionable early game decision making, but we'll see.
Arlet Kufra makes sense as well now. Maybe they just change it up a bit, but no, they change it up completely, but they still double down on the fact that the carry is the way to go up against the Claude. Now, we mentioned this earlier a bit already, but the carry really doesn't bully the Claude as much as you would think. Again, back in the previous patches, it does. There's no way you do anything on the Claude, but now it's completely different, especially if you go Brave Smite, then yeah, the carry's not going to have a good time.
Honestly, I think it really depends on who they choose in the mid lane, right? Because I get that the matchup isn't too favorable for the carry, especially in this current meta, but if you're able to secure a really strong mid lane with high rotations, then that should help out the carry, which is not what we saw in game number 1, where they were able to punish the carry so much. But with Joy being picked up now, question mark.
I think right now for RSG, they just really like the carry, not necessarily for the matchup against a Claude, but really it looks like it's a comfort for Eman. His best performing heroes are the carry and the Claude. 3 MVP performances as a carry by Eman, 2 for the Claude. So it just, I think it boils down to more of a, he's in the zone with it. Why not just go ahead and prioritize it? So go in the second phase, Masha getting taken away. So it's sort of like RSG are adapting really well. Still reactive, but in the sense of, oh, we saw your strength in this drafting style in game number 1. We're going to follow a similar trend early on, but then start switching things up as it goes on.
I like the micro adjustments made by RSGPH, even though the carry doesn't completely bully the Claude now in lane. Remember, mid-game, you still do the same job. The same reason it was picked a while ago, when the carry was obviously still meta against the Claude, is because of that mid-game. Once you get the Corrosion side, the HS Golden Staff, you're back. You're back to the same power that you had before. It's just the laning phase that gets really difficult for you, and we did see a reflection of that in game number 1.
So I'm curious as to see how this mid lane is going to go, right? But look at this, Onic, they're actually opting to take away the Esmeralda instead, realizing that it is a potential counter towards the Joy. The fact that she's able to create shielding, it can be absorbed. But now, the question is what's going to happen in this EXP lane? Even before this match begun, we already centered focus on this. EXP.
Yeah.
With Masha taken out,
It might actually
Terizla?
be, one of the
Paquito.
options. Paquito, Terizla, Uranus are some of the best options for NAF still available right now. So with Terizla gone, it's going to be either the Uranus or the Paquito.
if this comes out as Paquito for Onyx, then they totally set it up.
Yeah.
But no, they go for an Arlet instead.
I mean, again, the carry here, if you go on the Arlet, you're kind of forcing the carry to go Purify. Once you do that, yeah, Claude's even going to have an even better time than in lane up against the carry, bullying her even more. And the fact that if she goes for the Purify, the reason they want to force a Purify on the carry is because they also have a Joy.
Yeah.
It's much harder to catch someone with a Flicker than a Purify. Joy's going to eat her up.
Yeah. So for ours here, I'd like to see them pick up the Uranus. The Uranus pickup would be relatively okay. You see,
Stand out.
Unfortunately,
stand out. Ah, my goodness.
it's the box.
Yep, it's got you too.
Yep, got me too. So yeah, it might be the Paquito here. Unless they really want to fight, then they just end up picking a Dairoth or Glue. But Faramis is still open. Sans can pick it up. It'll still be a great pickup.
Yeah, maybe a bit of an oversight here.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing, guys.
Hermes.
Oh man. No way, no. How could that be an oversight?
Well,
With the Faramis being picked up, that just really negates the pressure that Glue can actually have in the lane, in the team fights.
if it's not going to be the Faramis, I mean, they can still pick up other routes, but nope. Oh, it's an Angela.
That's the curveball.
Okay.
Big curveball, massive curveball.
Yep.
All right.
I am scared. Onic draft looks so good.
So that's why they banned the Esme.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expected that Angela last pick. But that is the beauty of flexibility. Let's go call the casters. How do you think this is going to go out?
You know what? Something tells me Coach Yeb may have even played us over here, and we can't help but discuss what else is left. Because Gideon, paint me perplexed. I don't know what's going on.
Yep, I'm already getting into the Yeb post. Hopefully, walking in his footsteps will help me understand his brain because, man, the first half of that draft was good, but that second half took it another level. Welcome back, everybody. In case you are just tuning in, this draft, I wasn't expecting to see it, but Sans this time is going to have to take a step back. He's going to be on this Angela, and he's going to be playing a support role rather than getting information and hard carrying the team.
We've seen a couple of mid lane Angelas in the group stages, and at best, I have mixed feelings. But I'd like to echo just what you said. The second half of that draft, we got M. Night Shyamalan. It came out of nowhere, and the answers that we thought were so obvious, even in the minds of these world-class coaches in Coach Yeb and Coach Theo, weren't as simple. It wasn't as black and white. So with an out of the ordinary draft, we can expect an out of the ordinary game. Does the logic follow?
Yeah, the logic follows perfectly fine if people get our drift, but let's get into it. I want to see how these interactions are going to work because I love the idea of banning out the Esmeralda. We've seen Nats pull it out before, but to set it up as a way to, you know, really force down onto this Angela, even smarter. The real question is, who does Angela uses the Heart Guard on? Is he going to go look at CW, or is he going to put it onto Kyrie in the jungle with Joy?
Here's the thing. I think everyone but Keyboy is a valid target. Here we go. Let's get into the Land of Dawn for game number 2. It's match point for the current reigning and defending MSC champions as they vie to knock down the recently revived, rejuvenated, and reactivated MSC 2020 roster in RSGPH. Something to note here, Gideon, and this is an opinion of mine. I don't know how you feel about it and the folks back at home, but the lineup on RSGPH, even with the Angela, especially with the Angela, feels like they're going to have to take their time with the damage. Nothing comes quick. There's a lack of burst.
There is a significant lack of burst, and you know, this is a little reminiscent of the previous series where when Bigatron and Alpha are very much dedicated into making sure that their marksman is going to be the overall carry and majority damage dealer for their team lineup. And it makes sense, right? Like RSGPH, their lineup is literally all about peel. If they have a traditional front to front, it might be a little bit difficult for Onic, but Coach Yeb, with the way that he's drafted and the way he set up boots on this Arla, he is getting ganked, but can he get out of this? Force the flicker, at least they got a resource out of him.
He's doing fine, he's all right. Up top though, let's check in on the rotations as Light juggles Keyboy and Kyrie very low.
He's getting way too low here, and Light has to use that flicker. Aqua just keeping an eye on him, making sure that if he is needed, he's able to respond. No early double kill for Onic just yet.
Yep, just as that happened, a slight tease of what's to come. We showed the emblems, and there's nothing much out of the ordinary, save for maybe the fact that Nat's glue is rocking a common emblem.
The biggest problem nowadays, especially if you are, wait, hold on here. Nat's having to use split super early on to hold them hostage for as long as possible. He's gonna get on top of Boots here. Ooh, doesn't pull him back into the pit, but instead Boots able to use the Vengeance to close the distance towards that gold crab. Looks like Kyrie, if he's thinking about it, one last dash, hard guard activated, electrified beats, and he takes it away! Demon Kite trying to run, but Puppet on a string immobilizes him. Final slash coming in for Boots to try and catch anybody. Onic back off, and RSGPH, they lose a turtle.
That which RSGPH lacks, Onic provided. You see that burst? You see Kyrie taking the stacks from the gold buff and like already 3, 2, poof, plus the retry. Could have sworn this young man had 2 thumbs on his right hand.
It's so visual.
No, because that's what we saw, right? Like that's exactly how you explain how Kyrie stole the turtle for Onic, because you could have sworn RSG was going to have it.
I agree. I totally agree with you here. But with the rotation coming in from Kyrie, RSGPH are giving him a lot of respect. They know that in this stage of the game, he is going to have some relevant damage if he has electrifying beats ready to go. But like Mirko mentioned earlier, right? They were hoping to put Iman on that Purify, you know, force him into that situation. But Iman, he's like, no, I'm going to greed out for this. As long as I don't get hit, I'm going to be able to flicker out of some tight situations.
Yep, this is martial arts fundamentals. Don't make your block just a block. Turn it into an attack. So as he flickers back, he's throwing out more light wheels. So that's where he's put in to this machination of RSGPH's all-in lineup. We'll see how that works and exactly when it kicks into gear, because as it is, there's very little damage that RSGPH is presenting.
Yeah, it really is. Iman, he really has to pull out some Wing Chun here to make sure that Onic, it doesn't really get to punish him. But it's tough. It's really, really tough, right? Because if we're talking about, deep striking missiles, Kyrie, #1. And it's reinforced with the extra bit of shields coming in from the hard guard. Aqua flickering forward, but doesn't find enough distance to land the Divine Judgment.
Since game 1, and this is coming from a big Aqua fan, Aqua's been playing on Aqua-like. This is uncharacteristic of this mid laner. I'm a big fan of him. Could have sworn he was going to get the nod for MVP in MSC 2022, but here, it's difficult to imagine how they're going to ramp up into the mid game. He gets caught by an ultimate splash!
Yep, he pulls on in, and here we go! Numenor blast on to 3, but Kyrie's walking right on up. Demon Kite's able to take the turtle just in time, electrifying beats, dealing some decent damage, but really isn't enough. Aqua's death allowing RSGPH to take a turtle.
All right, it could have been worse, but at least, okay, hear me out. Weird trades like that couldn't be punished as hard as usual is good for a lineup that wants to scale. Unless it was a total wipeout or a huge trade like a 2-for-1, 3-for-1, this will help RSGPH's all in the long run. But you still got to get there. Again, that's been the story since game 1, right? You can get inches, but how do you get through the last stretch, the home stretch, that final mile?
I think, you know, when the time comes, that's when RSGPH will start thinking about it, right? Because they just want a team fight. They want to slow things down. And as long as they are at least within arm's reach of Onic, they've got a really good chance. On the opposite end, right? Onic, they probably want to be the ones being the aggressors. Wait, hold on. We see once again, Kyrie is able to get on top of Iman. The quick flicker isn't enough for the electrifying beats. He closes the distance. Demon Kite locks him down. Moving on blast as well has been utilized. Sands! It takes big damage, but they've already lost Kyrie. Iman and Light are down. And now the chase coming in as Nats is able to join in the middle of the fights. Boots nowhere to be seen. Keyboy will fall for a 2-for-2 trade.
Scrappy team fight. And an eventual victory for RSGPH, but what has that bought for Onic? Well, an opening down bottom. Boots is gonna make the most of this absence in the bottom lane, and he's gonna push tier 1, shrinking the map for Eman. And this opens up a problem. Oh wait, oh, close call, Kyrie secures.
He secures, but let's also notice the collapse on towards Light's side. Iman popping his ult as well. Boots forcing to flicker on out of there. And funny enough, Sans not even thinking about saving Boots' life. He knows he's going to be okay. Stop side. Potential dive coming up as CW. Oh, the Heart Guard is going to save his life from this dive. Nats and Aqua, they're on the run. But CW is like, no. Yes, pull me closer. I want to get closer to Aqua. But no, it's fine. Keyboy down, and as well as calling in Kyrie. They want to dive 2v2 electrifying beats as well. Locking him down. They finally kill on towards Aqua's side, and now Nats all by himself without split is left to dry underneath his turret. That's going to be 2 kills for the side of Onic.
Oh man, art imitates life, just like how we are in the home of Onic in Jakarta. They're making the Land of Dawn the same thing. It's like they're in control of every single entry point, and Onic knew clearly that RSGPH were taking the turtle, and they made the most of it and punished top lane.
CW is trying to clear up this wave. It's blazing too wet. Even Sans holding onto his trigger finger. Boots is taking way too much damage, and all right, he gets the back off for now. Even RSGPH respect the fact that the Heart Guard is quite the hair puller.
All right, looking at the item game so far, Nats has a interesting build here. He wants to respect the damage that Kyrie and Sans are putting on the board, and then from there he'll build physical defense. Looking at Aqua, has a Clock of Destiny here. Eman at least is just down to 100, 300 gold.
Well, that's actually not too bad considering everything that's happened across the game. With the biggest lead going on to Kyrie so far with a 1.2k lead, it's great, right? Holy Crystal, 8 minutes into the game.
And you can expect that the Blood Wings are up next, right? That's just how Joys are built in the current metagame. RSGPH making the most of the relative silence in team fights for the past couple of minutes, pushes up top. This is already, Gideon, I gotta say, much better than game 1.
Significantly better, in a matter of fact. However, I am a little concerned for Aqua right now. Let's see whether he recovers from that sort of mental damage after not having to play the game at all to now, possibly being the key to breaking open Onic.
All right. Some good news to that. Again, the bad news is exactly what happened already. The good news is something tells me maybe he's loading. Maybe he's downloading what's happened in game 1. And so far, what the early and mid game looks like here, and then eventually he'll break out into those last moments from game 1. Remember that, wherein they played that defense in the base so well? And now it's all the more possible. The propensity for plays like that to happen in game 2 has just skyrocketed.
And that's why RSGPH just making sure that mid-tier 1 does not fall. They don't mind having no side turrets at all, because that means Onic would have to go super deep in if they want to even put any points of damage into the inhibitor turrets.
Yep, again, taken off from where they left off in game 1 playing Possum, but here they're keeping it closer to their chest. Onic with a 2,000 gold lead, and RSGPH says to that in their face, how about we dance? Lord Dance already up, 9 minutes, 30 seconds in. Boots?
He's going to take a little bit of damage here. Sans, it doesn't look like the Heart Guard's coming out just yet. He's ready for it. He's waiting for it. Boots, he's able to go. Kyrie, in the matter of fact, actually gets the Heart Guard into the middle with the electrifying beats. The damage is good. Aqua is gone. Numenor Blast trying to disengage. It's tough, but Boots falls down to Nats and CW. Despite it all, that sprint is keeping him nice and healthy. He's kiting out of his mind.
Oh, split will not save Nats. Kyrie pops him. 2 for 1, and eventually Onic turns to the Lord.
Yep, they want even more than this. They want to break this tier 1. They want to speed up this game. The tempo increases for Onic.
Lord here, 3/4 of its health down and up. approaching halfway point. 10.5 minutes in. Yeah, they're gonna blitz it. Onic is gonna score this major objective.
Sans, once again, just taunting, right? He doesn't even need to be part of these fights. He can split push on the side, and Kairi can help fix the bottom side towards the neutral objective, and they just work in tandem so well.
That's a thing of pure terror. It's a hero with very little mobility, just standing there. And you know that one of those players' thumbs are on the recall button. That's what Sans does. That's the psychological warfare that he's committing, right? And people online saying, why is Sans doing that? Why is that? Imagine that being done to you in a ranked game. Exactly.
And the rest of your teammates, especially if you're an EXP laner, why aren't you clearing the waves? Why aren't you part of the fight? There's just no winning it. You can't be in two places at once. But now, with the Lord crashing on, and let's see how Onic responds, because it feels like Onic, they don't want to press the advantage any more than this. It feels like it's a liability to actually walk with these big waves.
And that's a clear sign that Onic have been learning from the lessons in the group stages. A lot of the moments that put them in hot water were in where they overextended. Hell, we just saw that in game 1, right? Wherein RSGPH played possum and hooked them into their base and punished them for an almost seemingly instant comeback, but it's not as easy, right? It doesn't happen like that. But right now, looking at Onic with a 5K gold lead approaching the 12-minute mark, Lord coming in a minute and a half about, it's difficult. But RSGPH are in a better state. I'm wondering if Eman is ready. What's Eman building right now? What's he got? Oh, 3 core items on the way to his 4th.
Oh.
A Wind of Nature.
Okay, that's good. That's really, really good to hear. As soon as he gets that Winds of Nature, he can actually go toe-to-toe against CW. I'm guessing CW already has his Winds of Nature immediately built, considering the amount of gold that Onic has right now.
He does, homie does. So that's what buys him the 1,000 gold ahead he has. 1,000 and change at that. So that's one dynamic that they have to think about. RSGPH, they have to get everything right, man. Aqua has to have the DJ, or at least the final slash, one or the other.
Now that Kyrie's, he's 2 level ahead of Demon Kai, right? So I guess this is what Onic is waiting for. We're gonna play around neutral objectives. We need to make sure that we don't get hit by lightning, especially when you're Joy and you're able to dodge big CC. With the hard guard, it gives you just another layer of complexity.
Yep. Talking about Kyrie, there's the aforementioned Blood Wings. So all the more, he's so difficult to kill, and he spouts out just that much more damage. Now looking at the engage, looking at the angles. Oh man, here's something I miss. Light finding himself all the way in the back. If you'll remember, folks, in recent history, I'm talking maybe 6-9 months back, you know how Light finds these odd bushes that you could have sworn he couldn't have gotten there? It's so odd. RSGPH are playing so conservative now.
Exactly, but Onic, you've seen their preparation before. That's how they won game number 1, right? Just raw preparation. Coach Jeb's genius, the pose, it all comes in together.
That's right, and now, come to think of it, maybe it's less how RSGPH are conservative. Maybe Onic are just cleaning up these bushes so well that Light can find himself in. Again, it's Boots here at the front.
All right, okay, CW, he has to kite this a little bit better, but now instantaneously you see that Kyrie with the electrifying beats as well, and the hard got on towards Nats' side. That Athena shield keeps him alive, but they've already taken out Demon Kite. This Lord is Onyx to take.
Oh wow, Keyboy! Oh! Grand Theft Orange! The MSP 2023 MVP just stole the orange buff right in Eman's face!
My jaw literally just dropped. I'm like, no way he's gonna get that. No!
Ring of Order, I did.
This has got to be so frustrating for RSGPH. It feels like every smart move that they think of, Onic is already right at the front door.
You know what's worse? Keyboy had nothing. He's building like weird little baby items, like elements to it. So it was just off of pure mechanics and timing.
Yep, it's, I mean, what can you do? What can you do? You can't win them all. You cannot win them all. But with this Lord pushing on, I want to see whether Onic is going to do the same thing, right? Are they just going to play possum and not walk with the waves? Or are they waiting for RSGPH to actually make the mistake?
It's a Luminous Lord marching up through top, and there is a closer wave in mid and bottom. So this is to RSGPH's benefit. They can actually do some damage control here, given that they have, again, relatively less than ideal wave clear, and Nats comes in.
I mean, gets pushed down now. Oh,
Hey.
nearly a big turnaround for the side of RSGP. HCW, you gotta be careful there. He's gonna top himself up with that wave and with the help of Sands at the same time. But here we go. This is where it gets dangerous. Ooh, key void. Iman needs to be respected as mid inhibitors down. Kyrie's coming in for the backline. The instantaneous Winter Truncheon. You're not even gonna be enough. Iman dies instantaneously. CW in the back line. A double for Kyrie. The Blazing Duet has chunked them all for Kyrie to eat them all up. Mistakes were made, and Onic are looking to close it out.
Just 2 defenders left, and the base goes down. Onic sweeps RSG PH.
Is it me, or is this one of the cleanest games we have seen from Onic thus far here in the playoffs?
Cleanest series in SPS that the back-to-back MPL ID champions have put on. And boy, oh boy, what a show it is. You can see Onic Sobat. They have come in droves, and they are not disappointed.
That was a disgusting match. I can't.
In a good way.
In a good way. In a really good way. I cannot imagine how the Raiders feel, especially in their saga of this tournament.
They were just on the up and up too, man.
Right?
And again, this is a very, very, how do I say, fanficky match in the best way possible, but for it to end in a sweep, oh.